Well, everybody, I'm about to do it again. I'm gonna cut some more holes in the ceiling. Seems like I'm always just cutting big gaping holes into this trailer. We're gonna go ahead and install the kitchen fan, Max fan, and the one in the bathroom. They're both identical. I went with the manual, just open the door manually, and then just the little push button. It's got 4 speeds on it, and you can change directions. This particular model, you can choose to close the lid and turn the fan on the opposite direction, and it actually kind of works like a ceiling fan. It can actually create a current and blow it down, even if the vent's shut. So we'll get into it. This one, I'm going to do a little different from my other videos. I'm going to try to do it as best I can step by step and show you guys each little step that goes into it. The first step is to get a drill and make some holes in the corners, and then take a saw and cut that out. So I'll be right back. Okay, folks, we got a nice big hole there now. Blue skies. I think I'm just gonna leave it like this. It's beautiful. We just put an umbrella there when it rains. It'll be all right. Alright, well, anyway. Oh, there's a fluffy white cloud. So we got the hole cut out. Next step is to dry fit everything, and then this all goes in from the outside, except for this. This is the inside flange. This one we'll have to mark it and cut it to the right depth. It's got like, what is that, probably 6 inches here, and we're only going to need about, I don't know, there's 2 inches of depth, plus maybe another ½ inch for this roofing, and then I guess this thing extends about a ½ inch above it. So I think we'll probably only need about 3 inches of height here instead of 6. But this all goes in from the outside. So I'll have to fit this. I'm going to put some butyl tape around the edges. I bought plenty. We're going to hook up the wiring and slide this in from the outside once I finish unpacking and get all the foam and stuff out. And then once that's in from the outside, butyl tape, we're going to drive in a whole bunch of screws through the outside, and hopefully they'll line up into this wood beams that I put in. And some of this is steel. This is the original steel girder, so that'll definitely hold it well. I've got some self-tapping screws for that section. And then once it's all screwed in from the outside, then we cut this to fit and finish pulling everything from the inside. So next step is to go ahead and put butyl tape the whole way around this, and then carry this up a ladder and install it from the roof. So let's get to it. Okay guys, so this is butyl tape. I just realized some of you might not have known what I was talking about. It's like a, I don't know how to describe it. It's almost like really sticky Play-Doh. It just comes in a strip like that. You just remove the wax paper and lay it in here. Now, they recommend to do an unbroken line. So instead of like just putting a strip this way and cutting it, and putting a strip this way and cutting it, I started here and just did one long winding piece the whole way around, like a cinnamon roll. Ooh, I like cinnamon rolls now. And so it's all unbroken. So the fewer times that you have to cut and lay it, I did have to cut and lay a piece here on the end because this tab is wider on this side than this side. This only took 2 rows, this took 3. Because this is like a little mounting tab here on the side for the vent cover, which I will be adding a vent cover to this. I bought these specifically because they were made from the factory to have a vent cover added to them. The vent cover, this already comes with this white vent cover. It's a lid, I guess. I don't know what you call it, but this will keep the rain out if it's closed. So this is fine. You can use this fan just the way it is and be just fine. And that's the way we're going to do the one in the shower. In the shower, it's just going to be this and nothing else. Because I think that'll be fine. But in the kitchen, there may be times when it's raining and we want to use this vent. So for the one in the kitchen, which is the one we're doing right now, I did buy a MaxxAir cover. It's just a big plastic shell that goes over all of this, and it's got these little louvers on it that are angled in a way that even if it's pouring rain, you can still open this vent, turn the fan on, and it'll still pull air through or push air out, depending on what you want to do, even if it's pouring rain. So you can use it anytime. And so I'm not going to do that for both of them, but I do want to do that on this one for use in the kitchen and just for our main area. I feel like the only time we'll ever really use the one in the shower is when we're taking a shower. That's it. This one we could use, we might be using this all the time. Nice to keep a little breeze coming through. I know when Tess and I are camping, we do a lot of tent camping, and I can't tell you how many nights I would just, be laying there in the cot and have the windows zippered open and just have my face pressed against the mesh, just praying that a breeze would just come by and give me a little bit of relief when you're camping in the summer, And so that's one big advantage of this setup, is that this thing will create a breeze no matter what. It could be dead still air out, and we'll have this thing pushing air out of the trailer, out, and have our window open, and that'll create a breeze coming in. So we're really excited about it. And with 315 amp hour batteries, if my calculations are correct, we could run this thing full time for months and be just fine if we're even, off grid. So here's hoping. Okay, so we got the butyl tape on there. I got sidetracked. Y'all know me by now. I get sidetracked very easily. Butyl tape's on. So now I'm going to walk this up the ladder and install it. Obviously, it has a hinge on it here. This is where the vent opens. That hinge has to be facing the front in the direction that the trailer is going to be towed. Otherwise, if you had it the wrong way and you're going down the highway doing 70, it would just rip that lid right off. So this end has to go towards the nose of the trailer. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop it in place, and then the next step will be, once it's in place, we drive a pant ton of nails through it, or screws through it. I think it said 14 screws have to go in this thing all the way around. I think it's like every 2 inches there's a screw that goes the whole way around this thing once it's in the ceiling, and then afterwards we're gonna use some more of my favorite product in the whole world, this self-leveling Dicor. This is the same stuff we put up on the roof to seal the roof. I absolutely adore this stuff. It seems to be, this is just where it's at. So then we'll put this over each of the nails and the whole way around the outside edge. So next step is installing this thing and screwing it in place. Alright, more updates to come. Okay guys, this is going to be a quick video because I'm up on a ladder and fat people and ladders just don't get along. So we've got this, we got the vent in place. You guys can see all the Dicor I've put up here already. The vent's in place. I did have to go ahead and wire it before I seated it because the wires had to tuck up into the fan so they didn't get pinched with the collar that we're getting ready to put in. So it's on there. Next step is to go ahead and drill screws down into each one of these little spots here. All right. Okay, guys, so here's the finished product. I know what you're thinking. It doesn't have to look good from the outside. It just has to not leak. I may have been a little bit generous with the Dicor, but I really don't want there to be any leaks. This stuff is like 10 bucks a tube, and it's absolutely amazing. Works really well. I just didn't want to leave any chance that this is going to start leaking. So I did apply liberally. Little Homestar Runner reference there for you. I did apply quite a bit, but it should be good and sealed up. Each little screw got a little dollop, and then I went around the outside a couple of times with it, made a nice thick bead. And you'll see this Dicor, this is like an older seam that I did a while back when we pulled up all that silicone. And it does kind of get a little bit of a skin on it, but it never truly hardens. It's still, you know, soft, and that's the whole point of this stuff. Is it always kind of stays a liquid, even months and years later. It's constantly like seeping into those little cracks. If you know, you are going down the highway and it vibrates and it's, you know, opening a little fissure somewhere, this stuff will just seal it right away. It's almost like how you put slime inside a tire, and if there's a pop, it fills it. That's kind of what this self-leveling Dicor is on your roof. It's just, you know, really good stuff. I absolutely recommend it. So let's hook this thing up to electric and see if it works. Yay, so excited. Okay, so this is sealed from the outside now. It's looking pretty good. So the last step is to put this trim ring on the inside and get that. It's got 4 screws that hold it in place. So let me go ahead and do that, and we'll see how it looks. Hook it up to electric and see if the fan turns on. Okay, so here's the finished product, sealed from the outside. We got the trim ring up, and I think it looks pretty good. I'm super happy with how that turned out. So now the big test is, we've got it hooked up here to the battery. Again, this is not how it's going to be hooked up permanently. This is just to see if it works. And we'll come over here. She's working. So my best friend has a Rockwood Roo camper, and I was planning on buying a fan that had a little tiny, it was the same size vent, but it had a little tiny fan in the side, and it only cost me like 25 bucks, and that's what I was planning on getting. But we went into his nice Rockwood Roo, and he had this MaxxAir vent fan in here. And this right here is exactly why we chose to buy it. It is absolutely super quiet. Like, it's running right now. Literally, I can't hear it at all. Now that's just the first setting. It does get a little bit, make a little bit more noise as it gets going faster. That's like you done burnt the pot roast and need to evacuate some air right there. But see, did I just turn it all the way off or just back down to 1? I gotta learn how this thing works. But yeah, that's just back down to level 1. It's moving plenty of air. You can feel the draft coming through, but you absolutely cannot hear it at all. Totally whisper quiet. So once I get that other cover on the outside, I have a funny feeling we're going to be running this thing pretty much all the dang time. So, but super happy with how it turned out. One more step in becoming a camper. Woohoo! Alright guys, more updates to come.